Africa is rising, and we are rising with her. Every day there's a new story, a new challenge, a new discovery, and a new victory. For 30 minutes, Monday through Friday, we bring these to you from Abuja to Accra and from Nairobi to Addis. Network Africa connects the dots, giving you a full picture and bringing the continent closer to you. Network Africa, weekdays at 4:30 p.m. only on Channels Television.
House of Reps has asked the Inspector General of Police to produce Mr. Adeniyi, the man in the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council scandal in 48 hours. And ahead of the 2027 election, Annex voter registration exercise is over. But what does this mean for the Annex register and the 2027 polls? Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale, live for you here in Abuja studio. So much for us to bring to you tonight. What really we're going to be digging into tonight is those divisions, those new army divisions that President Bola Tinubu has created. He created 4. They were initially 8. They are now 12. The timing of it, the sense around it, the reforms concept of it, what does President Bola Tinubu really mean with these creation? Will it really change things around in terms of the kidnapping, the killings that we are seeing? What exactly does this mean? We'll be dissecting into it. I mean, there are those who are asking questions about the timing, the suspicion around the action and all of that. But if it's going to achieve the result, who cares? But we're going to dig into all of that for you tonight. But INEC voter registration exercise, if you are not able to participate in it, it is over. But where do we go from here? Anna could be speaking with us also tonight on the program. But before we get into all of that, let me serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. George Akume, says the standard put in place for the good governance of the extractive industry must begin to have a direct impact on the lives of Nigerians. Mr. Akume, who is the chairman of the board of the Nigerian Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, NAITI, said this at a meeting in preparation for the 2023 to 2026 Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative validation exercise in Abuja. Niger State Governor Umaru Bago has reaffirmed its administration's commitment to promoting women's inclusion in governance and decision-making, at showing that qualified women will continue to play key roles in the affairs of the state. Governor Bago gave the assurance while receiving members for Zone C Women Stakeholders Platform in Government House in Mina. The governor acknowledged the critical role women have played in his political journey, describing them as the backbone of his electoral success. He noted that over 1 million registered female members of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in Zone C represent a formidable political force that cannot be overlooked. And in Cross River State, Governor Basi Otu has reshuffled his cabinet in a move aimed at strengthening governance and improving service delivery. At the State House Executive Council meeting in Calabar, the governor reassigned some commissioners while others retained their portfolios as part of efforts to enhance the implementation of his People First agenda. Governor Otu also swore in Ayuk Obi as Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture, and Dodo Yaribo as Commissioner for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, charging them and other members of the Executive Council to discharge their responsibilities with integrity, dedication, and accountability. Governor Otu urged commissioners to remain focused on delivering measurable results and strengthen collaboration across ministries. Lastly, National Chairman of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Professor Sadiq Gumbe, has called on Nigerian youths to embrace integrity, character, and selfless service as the foundation for responsible leadership and national development. The SDP chairman made a call in Abuja while receiving a delegation of the Arewa Students Forum at the national headquarters of the party in Abuja. He commended the Students Forum for promoting peace, unity, and leadership development among students, urging them to build lives anchored on character.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying in with us tonight on the program. Let me tell you what happened today in the House of Representatives, where the probe into the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council and the scandal that has rocked that what has now been described as a fake agency is ongoing. Today, we are seeing that the House of Reps member have now ordered the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Tunji Disu, to produce the alleged Director General of the disputed agency to appear before the committee in 48 hours. He's asking the IGP to produce the man before the committee on the 29th of July, 2026, at about 12 o'clock at its investigation into the PFIPC. As that investigation continues, however, they also called the Accountant General of the Federation, Mr. Shamsuddin Ogunjimi, who says his office declined a request by the PFIPC to open a treasury single account, insisting that due diligence had not been completed. Take a listen to the Accountant General of the Federation.
In the name of World Investment Summit, the Council further stated that the purpose of this request is to facilitate foreign currency transactions for foreign investment to Nigeria in order to stabilize the economy. That was the reason that we're giving, and because probably they want to host World Investment Summit. And so, two separate domiciliary accounts were asked to be given, to be opened, as well as a TSA account. Furthermore, the request for the opening of the account was processed along with other pending requests by ministry, department, and agencies. The two domiciliary accounts were subsequently opened by the CBN for inflow only. For inflow only. Via the letter with reference number BKS/CSO/CSO/CON/AGF/007/067 dated 13th August 2025. The two domiciliary accounts opened were never operational because the council did not meet up with the laid down requirement why the TSA account request was declined.
That's the account of the Attorney General, the Accountant General of the Federation, in what has become the investigation and probe into that alleged fake agency of government. Let's now take you into what may concern all of you, wherever you may be, especially those of you who are interested in the 2027 election, is the INEC continuous voter registration, which INEC says it's now come to an end yesterday night. It's over. If you were thinking, and if you are the type who procrastinated, they said procrastination is the thief of time. It's now over. You are not able to. But maybe tonight we might be able to plead through INEC to extend. Maybe there will be an extension, I don't know. Maybe there will be some leeway for those of you who still are interested in changing or transferring, whatever the case may be. Let's speak with Wilfred Ifoga, who is INEC's spokesperson, the Deputy Director of the Voter Education and Publicity with INEC, is live for us virtually on the program. Mr. Ifoga, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight on the program.
Thank you and good evening, Mr. Sheung.
Good evening. Give us an understanding on behalf of my friends who procrastinate, who thought that this will not end and has come to an end. First and foremost, is there a possibility of an extension? Maybe for one more week.
All right, Mr. Shehu. And for those listening, actually, just by way of background information, this exercise did not start this year. It was actually last year in August, precisely on the 18th, with the online pre-registration, and thereafter on the 25th of August, the in-person registration kicked off, actually. So for no less than 340 days now, we've been on with this program with periodic suspension in order to create room for display of the registers for claims and objection. So we've had 3 phases now. So the last phase was the one we just had. We started actually in April and ended. It was supposed to have ended July 10th, but then due to the outcry of people not being able to, complete their registration, an extension came up. And the extension didn't just come like that. There was also an addition in the sense that the portal was now upgraded so that those registering for the very first time would as well do self-service, start online and complete their registration online, ensuring that, first of all, that they have their name in order to complete the registration. And also, the weekends we actually included in this exercise. So as it is, there will be no extension because in August, precisely from the 4th, the display of this register will commence so that the public can actually scrutinize what we have done. Thereafter, before other technical actions will be taken, like the automated biometric identification system in order to prune out registrations that were not properly done, especially for maybe multiple registrations and the likes, before it is now published. And thereafter, the informations are integrated. And more so, the PVCs are now printed so that in good time, the owners of these PVCs can collect it before the general election.
So it is all over. If you are not registered now, either online or physical, it is all over. No deadline. The rapture for CvR has happened, and those who are rapturable are already identified. All right. Let's go on and look at it. The usual suspect when it comes to things like these, in terms of the states in registration, based on your last record, we do not have the consolidated register, the record just yet of the CvR exercise. It takes us to the 2 most significant states when it comes to political numbers and figures in Nigeria, Kano and Lagos. Kano gave us 234,305 with 76,768 online registration, 157,537 physical registration. Now, for Lagos, gave us 140,546 total CvR registrants, and 97,000 of them are online, while 42,895 are physical. But I mean, I'm surprised at a few states. This state are giving us more than 100,000. Taraba, Taraba, Edo states. They're very significant. Ebonyi also gave us more than 100,000. And these are significant numbers. Sokoto gave us more than 100,000 in new registration. But I'm not surprised by some other states that have given us close to that number. But those states, Taraba, Edo, giving us in that number. Are you also surprised by that sheer amount of people who have turned out for this CvR?
Well, I would say I'm surprised because that's actually what we expect. Because if there's one thing we need to know about this exercise, is likely not most of them are actually resident in those states. Some of them might be all around Nigeria, especially for the online registration. Some of them might even be in diaspora, hoping that before the election, they come back to participate in the elections. So, however, the system is now open in the sense that so wherever you are in Nigeria, you can register to vote in your particular location. So I think where probably surprises my spring is on election day, where you will now try to look at the number of persons registered in a particular state, not being able to produce the number of registered, the figures in terms of voting will not, really align with the total registered.
I mean, where I'm surprised, so the reason why I'm asking you if you're surprised with Ebonyi and Edo State is because the number of physical registrants are higher than online. Compared to Lagos, that we saw more online registrants than physical. In Kano, we saw more physical registrants than online. But in Ebonyi, and Edo. These are the other unsuspecting states when it comes to voter registrant that are giving us numbers, physical numbers. Beyond, I mean, there are almost 3 times the numbers of online registrants. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Are you surprised about Edo and Ebonyi? These are and Taraba also, those 3 states.
Okay, I think what I can say there is this. It depends on the approach from the different states, and in order to sensitize people for them to come out. There are some that will tell you they don't prefer the online, they want to be in the INEC office to do that. And also the arrangement put in place by our state offices in order to ensure that those who are eligible to register are reached irrespective of where they are located. While in some other areas too, like you mentioned, Lagos, their online presence is much. Yes, the technology is there, and they have a lot of places for them to be able to do that. While some states too actually did all they can, maybe with stakeholders trying to mobilize so that everyone will catch on this opportunity for them to be registered.
But let me ask you, INEC has insisted that the CvR must end despite appeals from some Nigerians who say they were unable to register due to logistics, network failures, and long queues. The worry here is that why was the commission unwilling to grant another extension? How do you respond to concerns that some eligible voters may have been shut out of the democratic process?
All right, my response to that is this. As at the day registration ended, just also put in mind too that the next day, some persons will also qualify to register. But for the fact that the suspension will come in order for us to prepare this register for the election has to take place, we just have to stop. We can't keep extending because as we speak, even the extension by 2 weeks that we gave definitely is going to, put us as a commission under pressure in preparing this register before the elections. Because from our timetable and activities, at least we need about 75 days plus for us to get this register prepared, right from when we stop the registration, for us to start preparing it for the display, printing out in PDF format, preparing it for display, hearing claims and objections, integrating this information, using the AB system, also getting these cards produced. We need those time also within the commission so that we can meet up with the requirements of the law. So we just have to stop the exercise. So for those who were unable to meet up, well, I will say we are sorry. There's nothing we can do for now.
So give us an understanding of the integrity of these register, because over the years there are question marks around the integrity, duplication, finding dead people, finding duplications underage. What is the integrity? How can Nigerians be assured that we do not have population of dead people, non-Nigerians, aliens, and underage on this register?
All right. What I will say here is this. On the part of the commission, we are going to apply the technology that is needed for us to identify double registrants. But there's no way we on our own cannot say this person is actually underage. And that is why the criteria in the first place for you to be registered as a voter, you must be of age. And if, for example, now, especially those who just turned 18 that came to register, part of the documents they are to produce include their birth certificate, and also if they have their passport, they are supposed to, and also their NIN, because these documents definitely will give a vivid account of their true date of birth. But however, there's an opportunity for stakeholders to be part of the process in scrutinizing the register, and which is when we now display this register for claims and objection. They can raise up objections to any name that has been registered or that we have displayed, because right now, these figures you are seeing, they are still tentative until it is processed by applying all the business rules that has to do with cleaning up the register before we now publish. So right now, everyone has to be part of it. So it's not for us to display the register. We'll find out that people don't go there to actually look at what we have, because if they don't do it, that's what we would do. We also publish as the register, the voter register that we're going to use for the election. So we call on Nigerians who are part of the system. We are going to display this register from August 4th for them to come and look at what we have there. For their own information, they can raise up claims where we have errors on it. But for others that we have probably registered and they find out that these persons are not eligible in the first place, or there are issues concerning them, they are there to raise up objections, and there are forms they need to fill. And when investigated and found that this claims is verified, the commission will do the needful to get those names out of the register before the election.
I know that part of the process of cleaning up the register is what they call the Automated Fingerprint Identification System, AFIS.
Automated Biometric Identification System now.
Absolutely. So to clean it, and there's also what you call the post-business rules. These are things you do to be able to ensure that the register is fine-tuned. But the larger picture is what then happens with what the president has now approved as a unified national record and register of Nigerian citizens. Is there a handshake between INEC register and NIMSI's own database? Because if you are not a Nigerian, you cannot vote. The criteria of being able to vote, for you to exercise the franchise, is for you fundamentally to be a Nigerian. And there are only 3 ways established by the Constitution to be a Nigerian. So are you having that handshake with NIMSI's national records?
Yes, let me just put it, I think just about a week or so, the DG, Chief Executive of NIMSI, was in the commission for a courtesy visit on the chairman of INEC, Professor Josh Amupiton, SAN. And just to let you know, yes, that handshake has started. And of course, in subsequent activities we are going to do, we are going to align with them in order to ensure the credibility of our database as far as voter registration is concerned, or the voter register. So it has started already. So
what about those PVCs that they said they carted away in Osun State? What happens?
Well, for the PVCs carted away, of course, the investigation will go on so that they will know those affected. However, for whoever took away those PVCs, they cannot use it for anything, because you can't take somebody else's PVC to use during the election. So I believe the commission will look at the situation and know what to do. But for that, I cannot speak for now.
Wilfred Ofoga, thank you so much for your time. As soon as you have the consolidated figures, please do let us know so that Nigerians can be well apprised of the latest and updated information as relating to the INEC voter register. Thanks so much indeed for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. So let's take you to our lead story tonight, which is the story concerning President Bola Tinubu's announcement of the expansion of the army divisions, operational divisions, from 8 to 12, which means that we have new divisions in Ilorin, Makurdi, and 2 other parts of the country. They have now been increased to 12 from the initial 8. What does this mean? The president has equally said that there would be improved equipment, and there will be improved about 12,000 recruitment into the Nigerian army. But what does this mean for the Nigerian army? I'm being joined tonight by retired Major General Anthony Atolagbe, who is a former JTF commander and is also the head of security at the Nigerian Defense. Thanks so much indeed for your time tonight, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, sir. Yeah. Did it come to you as a surprise? Because it was, you remember what it looked like back in the military days. It was about 3 or so divs that we had. Abi?
At a point.
About, sir?
At a point.
At a point, we have about 3 divs. And now it's gone to 8, now 12. Does that make sense to you?
Let me start by saying that I think if we say we do a rejig of any organization, and we will talk about rejigging the architecture of the Nigerian military, I think what we are witnessing is what I will call a rejig at its best.
Really?
Yes. Over the years, we have done so many assessments to find out, what is actually the requirement of the military that will be enough to, defend this nation. what is the strength of the military that will be enough, not only to defend the country, but to also give us that image outside, so that all our multilateral corporations that we have with UN, regional, are we able to meet them? And these are some of the answers that this rejigging is going to give us. First, let's look at the threats. One of the things that is usually being considered is threat analysis. The threat analysis has provided for us that, wow, in almost all the 6 geopolitical zones, we actually need to brace up to be able to contain the threats. So let's not forget that the military is not actually trained to do the job of the police. But we also have other provisions that also makes the military to come in support of the police. So we now look at, when we now look at the defense of the country, where are the threats coming from? We said there is inflow of Lakurawa from the northwest. There is the inflow of Boko Haram from the northeast. And in fact, when you run a line across the boundary between Nigeria and Cameroon, you will see that the threats also extend up to all those areas. So what I have seen is a kind of deployment in which, if you take the map of Nigeria as it was.
You may have it on the screen.
Okay. Okay, so if you take the map of Nigeria based on what we used to have, you will notice that between the division that is in Sokoto and the one that is in Ilori, there is a very big gap.
In terms of distance.
In terms of distance and space. Such that if you tell me that I should move a Biltreg kind of German force that moves at top speed to penetrate that place, they will be knocking on the doors of Federal Capital Territory with almost very little resistance.
So if you look at it, General,
yes,
these are the 4 new divisions that have been created.
Yes.
In Makurdi, in Ilorin, which is in Kwara, in Jalingo, and in Benin City. These are the 4 new ones. And later on, we'll be showing, letting our viewers to see what it looked like before 8. We now have these 4 added to it that has made it now 12 altogether. Yes. But first and foremost, General, give us an understanding. What is an army division? It's more than a battalion, I guess.
An army division is made up of 3 brigades. A brigade is made up of 3 battalions. So a division actually has a total of almost 9 battalions. So it's a very big force.
It's a very big force.
Yes.
You added the JTF.
Yes.
Where at some point, and you added an operation within the North Central region at some point.
Yes.
When you, just for an example, so that a lot of people will understand, the JTF you added was an operation, just like you have the operation Edinkai.
Yes.
Am I right? Huh?
Yes.
Right. That operation is under a brigade, isn't it? Was it?
The Edinkai?
Edinkai.
No. We talk about a theater.
Okay.
And a theater is composed of some divisions.
Okay.
So we have some sectors, and then we have some divisions under the theater. But when you talk about a div now, let's look at let's talk a div. Let's take a div for example, like a div in Ibadan.
Okay.
So in Ibadan, under Ibadan, we have Ilorin, we have Benin, and then we have another brigade.
Yeah. So under Ibadan division, we have Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, and Ondo State.
Those are the states covered.
Covered.
Yes,
okay.
But I'm talking about the locations of the brigades that are under them.
It. Okay.
So you have 3 brigades. Then under each of the brigades, you have 3 battalions, making 9.
Yeah.
So you are now looking at the spread of the military. Let's not forget one thing. What actually is being done is that the deployment of this army, the army now, will also trigger the level of support that the Air Force is going to give. So they will not just, the Air Force will now have to look at their own, go back to their own drawing board and say, with the level of divisions that we have, do we have enough
manpower
to
and
support
strength
them.
to be able
so
to
if
support
they don't
them.
have, it will trigger their own
General,
reorganization too.
apologies to Button.
Yeah.
A brigade has how many soldiers in his
Let us take a battalion.
A battalion,
yes. For Nigeria,
yeah,
we have a minimum of 1,000 men.
Okay.
With all the elements that support them.
Yeah.
But when you are going out, for example, for a UN operation, or at the AU and ECOWAS level, they will ask you to come with about 650 persons. At the UN, they request for about 850. You know, all this one has to do with reimbursement and the rest of it. So based on the amount of money that they will be spending, they have to manage the length, the strength of the people.
The logistics,
so that determines that. But in the real sense, going by the order of battle of what the Nigerian army does is within the range I mentioned. So you now have, let me just continue breaking it down so that we'll be able to, for the layman.
Yeah.
So when we talk about defending the country, the territorial integrity and so on, so when you see the new deployments, you see that the whole of that central part of Nigeria that is almost barren, as I'll put it.
Please go back to the map. Go back to the map so that we look at the map.
That is almost in such a way. Okay, so you now see. You say a div is in Oyo.
Okay.
And the next div is in Sokoto. So you can just look at that gap.
Yeah.
Okay. So come to the right side again. You have a div in Enugu. Yeah, there is one in Plateau.
Yeah.
You understand? But you see the stretch from Enugu to Benue, to Taraba, to Adamawa. There is no division.
No division.
You understand? So you see that this new arrangement actually has clustered the entire country in such a way that there is some presence in such a manner that if you move here, because now we are looking at just the position of the divisions. Imagine 9 battalions spread around these locations where they are present.
Yeah.
And so you now see 3 brigades under them, 9 battalions under each of them.
Yeah.
So they will almost be, mutually supporting each other. Because
so they are able to cover, because we are overwhelmed. The military is in almost every part of the country,
so
in one operation or the other. But they are not able to be able to hold ground as much as
doing this now.
Yeah.
You now see where the police comes in to come and fix themselves also. In such a way that at every move, you are able to look to your right and say, hey, police, come this way. The military is also placed. Reposition yourself at this location.
So it makes it be seamless. Yeah, in terms of response, because
you are close to
almost
every border, every border location.
So in Taraba now we have a div.
Yes.
In Kwara we have a div.
Yes, we have
in
in
Lagos
Borno already.
We have in Borno.
Yes.
We have in Enugu.
Yes.
We already have in
Sokoto.
in
Rivers.
We have in Rivers.
Yes.
So at almost every water land border, you have almost everywhere.
You also have in Lagos.
In Lagos. So, you have almost everywhere covered now, as it is.
Yes. So that is, we have first of all fulfilled one of the provisions of the Constitution that says we should defend the territorial integrity of the country.
All right. Give me a moment.
If we go further.
Yeah, give me a moment.
Okay.
We have more time to explain all of this, because Nigerians need to understand when policy of government makes sense. When it does not make sense, we've got to be able to break it down. What is the cost-benefit analysis of what the president has done? What is in it for the average person? Does this mean that Nigerians' lives will be better and safer under this? And that's why I brought the expert tonight to break it down for us. But we'll be looking at the map, we'll look at the 26,000 personnel and how the president has asked them to implement it in 2 phases. That's going to be after the break, everyone. Let us again. Everyone for staying with us. From our JTF commander, retired Major General Anthony Atalagbezin, speaking with us, making sense for us on the decision of President Bola Tinubu to increase the operational division of the Nigerian Army from 8 to 12, creating 4 new ones. And for some of these, what that we have seen in the past is the creation. What does this mean? We've had in the past the division in Kaduna, in Ibadan, Jos, Port Harcourt, Maiduguri, Sokoto, Lagos, and Enugu. But recently, the president has just created in Makurdi, in Ilorin, in Jalingo, and Benin City, which brings us to 12 total divisions covering the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. General Tolagbe, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Yes, sir.
There are other things that the president said. He says 26,000 personnel, troops,
yes.
Soldiers should now be recruited. 28,000. What does this mean? 28,000 soldiers.
Okay.
Will it do the job?
What I have to say here is that let us look at the action of the president and whether it is in line with the Constitution.
Okay.
We've first of all spoken about defending the territorial integrity of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have other areas that has to do with support to civilian authorities.
Mm-hmm.
So you now find a situation where a lot of governors who have to travel very far away to go and consult with GOCs and the rest, some of them are just at your doorstep because there's now a new GOC in your location, or maybe the governor next to you, there's a GOC next to you. So you see a situation, a kind of arrangement that allows for timely action, responses, and activities, administrative cohesion.
Yes.
So now, Nigeria is a regional power also. We have multilateral cooperation with countries, especially, let's look at ECOWAS. We are actually the highest contributing force to ECOWAS standby force. How are we able to meet these requirements? Mm-hmm. If we need to meet these requirements, we are not going to sit down and say we are just defending our country without being able to produce enough troops to, first of all, be the one to lead in any regional action that we need to take.
Mm.
Now, in the under the global area within the UN, we are almost absent now.
Mm.
I remember that the first set of troops to put feet on the ground in Darfur was Nigeria and Rwanda with 4 battalions. And these are things that actually project the image of the country. So, but with this arrangement, because this 28,000 is not just going to be we do it today and then we do no more. No, it's going to be a continuous rolling out of troops.
Invariably, what we had before is not also significantly commensurate to our numbers in population.
Yes,
right?
Well, when you look at military to population ratio,
yeah.
Well, Nigeria, from what I did, from my own calculation, we have 1 to 1,000, which is almost equivalent to what China is doing. But with the Americans, it's 3.7 to 1,000.
Mm.
You understand? But what is actually, what the research actually brought out is that you must have 1 to 50. So there's no country actually that is able to meet that requirement for now.
But is this the same way America has is military bases around the American around the world? America has bases in every part of the world.
Central Command.
Yes. But around their own country, because we are talking about the internal protection of the territorial integrity of the country. Is this the way America has it too?
You need to see the map of how the military is deployed in America. In fact, the Air Force bases alone will amaze you. Not to talk of where the the army presence are deployed within the country.
Let's look at what we had before now.
Yes.
Now.
It's the one I was explaining. Let's go back.
If you look at what we had before now in the white map, which gives us the first div, the 82 div, and it gives us, I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
This is where we are.
So
look at what I was saying.
Yeah.
From 2 division to 8 division.
Yeah.
Just look at the space that exists within that area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at where 3 division is to 82 division, then look to the right of that.
That's
towards the boundary.
From Kaduna
Yes.
to Maduguri.
Yes, just look at the boundary.
Yeah.
There's almost
Taraba, Benue.
maybe you just have
all of them are
the presence of brigade or battalions within those locations. But with the division now, you find out that we have kind of saturated the entire Nigerian space, land space, in such a way that you move here, you are going to just be encountering somebody. You move here, you are encountering a force.
So, and before now,
yes,
between 6th Division and 81st Division, 81. That is from that's from
and this is a maritime environment.
Port Harcourt to Lagos. That's the distance you have
of course.
that you can cover,
yes,
and it's quite a lot. And you look at from 82 Division to the 2nd Division, yes, from Ibadan to Enugu. Look at the distance, and the whole of the southeast, which is landlocked, yeah, going into the southwest, that distance is a whole lot, isn't it?
Yes. When you look at headquarters 1 division, yeah, to 3 division,
yeah,
and then you just look down and see another space that is there.
Yeah.
So we are talking about the whole of Niger State, the whole of Nasarawa State, the whole of Kwara State, and the rest of them. So, but with this one now, where you have those red dots,
yeah,
those are the locations where we now have
the new ones.
The new divisions.
The new ones are now, so they literally brought them closer.
Yes.
The new ones are there. Go back to the map. Go back to the previous map.
We can still use this one, okay.
Yeah, so the red dots you can see, yes, on your screen,
yes,
the bigger dots, they are smaller dots.
Yes.
The smaller dots are the new division, the 4, yes, Makurdi, Ilorin, yes, Taraba. Those are the new ones that we now find. So it's sort of now moved things closer.
Yes. So when people talk about the fact that the government says they want to establish so month and so month, those are just like taking the first step towards the bigger step and the rest of the steps to be taken. You should not be saying that action will be completed by September, because I listened to some people and they were saying that they don't imagine how governments will make such pronouncement that maybe it will be too adventurous on their part to say that you want to establish 4 divisions within 3 divisions within just the next 2 months. No, that's not what it means. In fact, some of these locations,
yeah,
take Ilorin, for example, where you have the headquarters of a division.
Yeah.
There is a battalion in Ilorin.
There's a Sobi barracks.
Yeah, there's even a battalion in Ilorin. So it's not as if there will not be presence of. It's just going to be
an expansion.
There's what we call a task organization now that will take place in such a way that if your battalion now is being taken over by another division, it means that they need to reallocate another battalion to you. If you are losing a battalion to any new one now, another battalion will need to be reallocated to you, so that in any of your AOR, that's area of responsibility that we have seen listed, there will be presence of another battalion.
Let's look at some of the other things that the memo from the president stated.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of the things that the president has said in terms of the implementation. He said it's going to be in 2 phases.
Yeah.
Let's look at what it means for the rollout. So in the first implementation modality, the first phase, the establishment of the 5th, 9th, and 10th divisions, the reorganization of existing formations to be completed by September 2026. Critics are saying that is too fast.
Yeah.
But how can you make that happen?
No, these are some of the paperwork that will take place. Paperwork will take place. They will have to find, just like I'm saying now, that if you are losing a battalion to any of the new divisions, it means another battalion will need to be given to you.
Yeah.
And then they will now tell you where to position it. Those are some of the things to be done under that reorganization.
Why though that the 83rd division is going to come in the 2nd phase? Why is it not coming with the 1st phase? What do you think? When
you look at your priorities,
yeah,
and the level of threat that is coming from a particular location,
yeah,
that this particular area requires some urgent responses.
Yeah.
Then you now set those priorities are the things to put into consideration before you make such decisions.
Yeah. Now the 2nd phase, the 83rd division will happen completed by December 2026.
Yes.
So it means that all of the new divisions will have been established, yes, by December 2026.
Yes. That's what it means.
But again, look at the additional support that the president has announced.
Of 28,000.
28,000 additional personnel, acquisition of critical military platforms and equipment, improvements in troop welfare, support for operational readiness and force modernization. There are those who say, does it make practical sense? How realistic are all these projections? 28,000 additional personnel. How long does it take to train a soldier? Is it practical for the president to say this is going to happen between now and December?
If there is any organization that actually work along timelines more than any other, it is the military. All these things that you are seeing, all these listings, will have been drawn along timelines now. When you talk about 28,000, it takes about 6 months to train some of these men. For officers, it takes another 4 years to train somebody from the first year to the fourth year. So it's not something that we will just wake up tomorrow morning and then we shout uhuru. No, these are progressive steps that will be taken.
To train a colonel to become a brigadier general, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm talking about taking a civilian
okay.
to go to NDA to train and become an officer.
Okay.
To become an officer is 4 years.
It's 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the soldiers, it's 6 months.
Whom you call recruits.
Yes. It's at the point of entry you call them recruits.
Okay.
When they come out, they're no longer recruits.
They become a soldier.
Yes.
Yeah. But an officer, becoming the first rank and being an officer takes 4 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Reasonably. So, talking about acquisition of critical military, you're also aware that military equipment are not just off-the-shelf equipment. So it takes time, it takes negotiation, it takes approval by government from where we are.
And DICON is not producing as much as we will. I understand that DICON is trying, and there are some other local manufacturers, but they may not be at par at what the kind of equipment and the kind of armory that we want.
Yeah, I think this particular aspect will spawn this military-industrial complex aspect of our armed forces, because I think we are way behind. And some steps have been taken, but I'm not too sure the level up to which they have taken them. Because just producing ammunition may not be enough for Nigeria. But you must be producing drones, producing aircraft, producing vehicles. I went to South Africa, I saw them sometimes in 2001, and I saw them producing aircraft. You understand? So if you have to get yourself within the space that you belong, you must be doing some of these things to make sure that. So when we talk about improving welfare also, I think the government is doing enough. In 2024, salary was readjusted, and so a private soldier who was supposed to be taking 40,000 moved to 100,000. So, and now we also had about another review of salaries, which was done last year, approved by the president. So that one also is being approved. But there are other areas in terms of education for the troops' children, accommodation, and several other areas that also we need to be addressed.
In May of this year, Turkey, which couldn't get supplies from European and American countries in the past, in May of this year, Turkey launched its first indigenous homemade intercontinental ballistic missile in May of this year. In fact, just 2-3 days ago, they also launched another weaponry, underwater weaponry, that can travel several meters, and it shows that they internalize, they look at what they've experienced in terms of other world powers not supplying them or selling to them, and they started producing. And Turkey today is one of these highly sophisticated weapon-producing countries of the world.
Let me shock you. Before Sudan went to war, this war that is going on, there's nothing they are not producing. All the projectiles,
in Sudan.
Yes, they are producing their uniforms. They are producing their own boots. Everything, because they know the country is. They are locked up. They are not able to procure anything outside. Everything they need. You go to Egypt, you'll be amazed what military-industrial complex is doing within Egypt. we went to a particular location where they are producing surveillance cameras. That does not need to be. That you don't need necessarily to. You don't have to put it on an aircraft before you are able to fly it or put it on drones. Some you can just put on the chest of some eagle, and then eagle flies over a particular area, and then they are able to do surveillance. And those are some of the ways that you can even conceal being observed.
I'm waiting for the Nigerian version of a tomahawk, just like the Turkish produce their own indigenous.
A tomahawk that was launched on the coastal part of Ghana that traveled about 1,000 and something kilometers into Sokoto. You know, and we are able to control it such that
precision
is also able to shed its weight because there are other things that it does not need to get into action with. So some of those sharpness fell on some towns you recall.
In Offa.
Yes, it needed to shed some of the things.
So that's the explanation.
Yes.
When people said we felt something
no,
on our
it
roof.
was just shedding weight so that it can move
closer,
faster. And then it's able to be controlled and launched on the target.
Precision.
Precision targeting. Because what the precision targeting does is that it minimizes the number of casualties, the civilian casualties in an area. If you're able to pinpoint and hit your target, then civilian cost will be highly minimized.
Is this one of the most radical reforms of the Nigerian army that we have seen yet?
I gave you just 4-letter word: rejig at its best. That's what. That's
so this is audacious.
Yeah, this is audacious because you see we've been having several governments before now. So coming with 4 divisions is not a child's play. We started with 7 divisions when we were increasing the number, and then we went ahead to create 8 divisions. That is just creating 1 and 1 at each time. We are witnessing a situation where 4 divisions. I just pray that the money will be there, because to be able to.
The part of it that we did not talk about is the welfare, improve welfare. That is very critical.
I'm sure that I want to think that no serious government will embark a route just to play on the intelligence of the populace.
So if they're serious
about this,
if there's any kidnapping, any abduction, God forbid, in any part of the country with this division,
there will be timely response. In fact, I came up with something sometimes that in each of these geopolitical zones, we should have what we call a strike force that has helicopter, special forces,
fully equipped.
Yes, such that if something happens within a particular location, within these geo zones, it's within the next few minutes, aircrafts are airborne and they're able to observe and then they direct troops to how to engage.
General, thank you so much indeed. What I heard and some within the military and within the security intelligence community is that we in fact now have some elite squad that are now domiciled, that are being monitored and controlled under the NSA office to ensure that there is precision in response time, and we now have some new gadgets and new weapons to be able to prosecute. Those are some of the things that we are hearing.
Let's move them to the geo zones.
Absolutely. So that we have them in multiple grounds. Yes. General Anthony Atolabi, always a pleasure having you. I know you're also a lecturer. You know how to break these things down. Yes, thanks so much indeed.
Thank you,
That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Akimale. God bless Nigeria.